What's up, guys? The Lazy Gold Maker here. We're taking a look at blacksmithing in Wrath of the Lich King, what the main recipes are, and how you can profit. So, as with all the other professions which primarily focus on armor and equipable gear, the most important time period to make gold is going to be during the initial rush towards gearing up your characters. That means before the raids open. Everyone is going to be hunting for gear. They want to get their character as strong as possible before they get into the next Ramas. And that's where they're willing to spend the most amount of gold, which means that it's very important to get blacksmithing up early. It's also preferable to have blacksmithing on your main, because a lot of the most sought after recipes, like the Titan steel helmets, they require a frozen orb, which at launch will be bind on pickup. So which means you have to go out into the dungeons yourself and get them, otherwise you can't craft these items. So that's the main thing. Like you definitely want this on your main or something that you're planning to level to max very early on and play. That's where the highest potential is from a gold making point of view. But of course there's some things you can take advantage if you're just going for a level 68 as well, and we'll look at them. But now we'll go through the main recipes. So obviously we have the armor, we have the weapons. There's a lot of armor pieces here. There's some PvP BOE sets. These are usually pretty good early on. A lot of PvPers will want to get these. And then of course you have the epics down here, the Titan steel set, which covers the boots and the helmet. The helmet is particularly of note, at least the physical damage one, which I know is best in slot, or pre-raid best in slot for most strength users. Not all of the pre-raid best in slot guides are out yet, so I don't actually know if this is the best one for holy paladins, but that's just one spec, whereas the spiked Titan steel helmet, that's going to be all death knights, all retribution paladins, all warriors probably wanting this one, which is pretty healthy demand, because both paladin and death knights are two extremely popular classes in Wrath of the Lich King. So that's the main ones from armor point of view. And then you have this one as well. The Vengeance Binding is the one rare recipe, which means it doesn't require frozen orbs. This one is also best in slot, or pre-raid best in slot. As you can see, tons of strength, no stamina, nothing defensive, just pure damage. All the PvE players will want this one. So this one is nice. You can do this at level 68 as well, which makes this one of the main things you can actually do if you have this on your ult. Now, obviously, one thing that sets blacksmithing apart is you get the weapons as well. Weapons, the most popular slot of them all. The best slot to upgrade, generally speaking. You have the Titan steel weapons, a bunch of different ones. You have a caster sword, you have a dagger, you have a main hand mace for caster mace, I don't know. Then you have the two-hander and the one-hand damage mace. All of these are pre-raid best in slot pretty much for some spec, or at least most of them are. And you should see strong demand for a lot of these. People are going to want these to get their character as strong as possible early on. For rare weapons, all of these, or most of these, have a lower level requirement, which just makes them significantly weaker in terms of like how much stats they have. Some of them are more interesting, with like a level 75, level 74, 75 required level to equip, which makes them pretty good for leveling alts, or even if you can craft this for your main when you hit level 74. We could see some demand. This is pretty much on par with like raid gear from TBC, so a lot of players leveling in the first wave probably will already have better gear, but in the second wave then we might see some movements on these. But for weapons, you're primarily looking at taking advantage of the Titan steel recipes, which means farming your own frozen orbs. And then you have these utility items, and there's one in particular that stands out here. Her good friend, Eternal Belt Buckles. This is a classic, man. I sold so many of these back in the original Wrath. Yeah, Belt Buckles, one of my favorite gold making items throughout the years. This is going to be it's the best in slot enchant. It adds a socket to your belt. Everyone's going to want this whenever they upgrade their belt, pretty much. Strong demand for the entire expansion. Very good recipe. Only requires skill level 415. Perfect to craft on your alt. This is primarily, if this is a level 68 or 70 crafting alt, then it's the belt buckle. That's going to be your bread and butter. And then there's a couple of other recipes. The titanium rod for the enchanting rod. Okay, people are going to buy this. It's not going to be a huge money maker. Shield spikes and weapon chains, they can sometimes be useful. For niche use cases, usually people want a stronger DPS enchant than the weapon chain. Shield Spike is often AoE based, like if there's AoE farming with the shield for paladins or whatever, then this one sees play. Outside of that, it's not so strong. I haven't followed that particular niche. I don't know if this one is highly sought after or not. Either way, it's probably a niche piece, and it's the belt buckle and it's the vengeance bindings. Now, interestingly, if you scroll down to the bottom of this recipe list, we go to like reputation plants. It's literally just titanium plating, which is an upgrade for yourself, which it's bind and pickup. It makes the item bind and pickup. It's completely useless. And there's a couple of low-level plate recipes that drop from specific mobs, which are completely useless. And everything else is from the trainer. Everything else is from the profession trainer. So that's great. It's super easy. Just get to 440 and you have every meaningful recipe. Like, that's where you get the last ones. 440 skill, and then you don't have to do anything more. Then you just go to town selling whatever you can for a profit. If this is on a level 70 or 68 alt, then you just have to go to level 420 for the vengeance bindings and the eternal belt buckle at 415. So no point in going higher than that, because you won't be able to craft any of the better recipes or higher skill recipes. None of them matter particularly much. Maybe some of these like PvP pieces, but you'll get there. Like, you'll be paid to level there through the vengeance bindings. So that's sort of what I'd suggest. Get it leveled fast, sell the PvP girl early, sell the Titan Steel stuff if you have this on your main. Otherwise, just the vengeance bindings, the eternal belt buckles, and the PvP starter sets. That's going to be how you make money with blacksmithing. It's pretty good. Weapons push it above, particularly for a main. So for instance, like, I'd seriously very strongly consider going blacksmithing on your Death Knight if you don't care that much about PvE performance, or the difference is extremely small. So like, if you want to get a good mix of gold making and PvE performance, like jewel crafting, blacksmithing is a great combination. Engineering is a little bit better, obviously, because you get an on-use that you can stack with other cooldowns, but honestly the difference is a lot smaller than people pretend. So you can be perfectly fine with blacksmithing, jewel crafting, which will give you very strong gold making potential as well. Thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one.